Is your website, product, course, something just been sitting there almost ready for weeks, months, maybe a year or more? You keep tweaking it, you keep adjusting it, but somehow it's just never quite ready to go live. If that sounds familiar, this episode is for you because we need to talk about what good enough actually looks like and why waiting for perfect might be the thing that's holding you back. Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and shine. It's your business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. This is episode number 668. It's Mindset Monday, and we're going to be talking about launching and why waiting for perfect might not be the thing that's holding you back. I know, such a thing to say, right? Now, look, I've done something similar to this one before, episode 520. I talked about minimum viable product. We're going to be revisiting that, and I'm going to call out a few different things, or at least I hope I'm going to call out a few different things. Let me set the scene as to where we might be at, and then we'll launch into why perfect isn't exactly what you want to be waiting for. I had a coaching client a while ago, a client who was a coach a while ago. This client, a lady, had decided she was going to launch an entire coaching package for her community. She'd already done a couple of small things, and from those small things, she knew what people wanted to a degree. So she did this entire package. It was 9 or 12 modules. She had sat down and she planned out each module and each week of what content she was going to release each week across the 9 or 12 modules. Like, we had this entire blueprint of what we were going to do. And when I say we, what I was building websites for, I was building the systems in the back end. So I kind of knew that next week we'll be working on this and the week after we're going to be working on this. Well, that's what we thought. We released module 1. The students started through it. Her attendees started through it. And when they got towards the end of it, like, this is really good stuff, but we don't want module 2. We want module 6 next. We think module 6 is actually going to be more beneficial for us from doing module 1. Now, if that had only been 1 or 2 clients, then, or 1 or 2 students, you'd think, oh, it's just an aberration, but it wasn't. Without a doubt, it was the majority of the students going through had decided that the next thing they thought they needed after this, that they thought would help enhance their learning, was the 6th module, not the 2nd module. So I guess what that meant to us was that the planning was just guessing. My client had an idea of what the students needed to learn, and she thought she understood what sequence they needed to learn it in, but what turns out to be the truth is that her students knew better, and what we hadn't done was actually ask the students. Now, I'm going to get into this a little bit further, but we could have found all this out if we had taken a slightly different route to releasing the coaching package. Now, this is the same thing that happens with websites. There are things that I see regularly when we go to release a website. We rewrite the same content over and over and over. And, I just want to change this bit here, and I don't like how this feels, and I want to change this. Now, I don't want to sort of shame anyone here while saying it. I don't want to call anyone out. I totally get it. I do it myself. I look at my content and I think it's just not good enough. I need to rewrite this bit. I need to change this. I need to fix this up. Waiting for everything to be ready at once, whether it's the home page, it's the about page, it's the blog posts, 20 ready to read blog posts all to go, lead magnet, email sequence, booking system. We're waiting for everything to be ready at once. Let me give you a personal anecdote on that one. I have been updating my website now for, I don't know, close to 3 years. I wrote the content. I got pages out there. I'm certainly not happy with them. And I have been redoing pages slowly across these 3 years, but I've not been putting them up. They've been sitting there on my staging site waiting for me to, I don't know. I really don't know what I've been waiting to do. So we're now starting to, okay, we're going to do this page next, and that page is the next one we're rewriting, and we're going to make that live. So, yeah, I do it myself. Look, you could also just get stuck on one image or one detail on a piece of on a page. I don't like the way that headshot looks. I don't like that hero image. I don't like the way the colors match. The colors go together here. It could just be little things. Now, some of these are legitimate reasons. You may not know your own processes yet. It may be that you haven't quite decided what your branding should look like. So they are legitimate reasons, but are they really legitimate enough for you to not release something? Or are you just trying to hide from the fact that you've got to release it and you're not quite sure people are going to love it? Maybe that's a good question to ask. So let's have a talk about what actually matters for a launch. I like talking about the thing called a minimum viable product. This applies to websites, it applies to products, it applies to email sequences, it even applies sometimes to your email campaigns. It can apply across the board. It's not just applications, websites, emails, the lot. You need to ask yourself 2 questions, or I feel you need to ask yourself 2 questions when you're getting to a launch process, or you're trying to work out when you can launch. Can someone understand what we do? Can they contact us? If if yes is the answer to both of those questions, you probably got enough to launch. Is it broken or is it unpolished? Look, if it's broken, forms don't send, links go nowhere, then it's broken. That needs fixing. By all means, don't launch with broken things. But unpolished, does the copy feel a little bit rough? Are the photos not quite professional enough for you? Is the branding, does the branding just not quite meet your expectations? That's unpolished. I honestly, if you're at a point of you're like, this is pretty good, it's just not good enough, I feel that's unpolished and you should launch anyway. The next part is, nobody's really waiting for the big reveal. As much as we might like to cons- mm, trick ourselves into thinking that, no one is really waiting for the big reveal. Okay, maybe your dad or your mum is, maybe your partner is, maybe they're waiting, but let's be honest, nobody's really waiting for that big reveal. What do our what are people waiting for when we do launch our website, when we get our updated website out there or our new website out there? What is it that visitors really care about when they come to your site? They don't care that it's new. They don't care that this is a big launch and a big reveal. What they care about when they find a website, they've searched for something and your website has come up and they visit it, what do they want to know? Is the information current? Is your website current? Are you still operating? Can they find what they need, and can they trust that information when they find it? They want to know whether the website is legitimate. They want to know that it's legitimate and they're not going to get scammed. They're not going to get scammed by being phished. They're not going to get scammed by putting their credit card in and being charged and not receive something. What they're looking for are signs of life. They're looking for signs of life. They're looking for signs of humanity. They're not looking for a perfect design. They're looking for a good design, but they're not looking for a perfect design. If you can, and I really, really recommend that you learn to live with the rough edges, because honestly, living with the rough edges beats being invisible and perfect. The final part of this, which then ties back into the story that I was telling at the beginning of this, is let your audience tell you what they need. You don't know what's going to work until real people use it and give you feedback. So many times I've launched a website and thought, we're going to drive people through the traffic. And when I say drive people, we're going to lead people through the website by getting them to click on this button, and they'll go here and then they'll go here. And then I've had someone come to me, I've had a client come to me and say, I can't find the information. What do you mean you can't find the information? You need to click on this button. Well, I didn't think that button applied to me, so I went through this way because that looked better to me. That's an eye-opener. That's really good feedback. It means that we haven't quite got the messaging right. We haven't quite understood how our target audience thinks. So imagined feedback in this case is useless, but the real feedback from people who are actually using the system, whether that's feedback because you've got someone coming to you and telling you about it, or whether that's something feedback because you're looking at your analytics, you're looking at the tracking through your website, you're looking at the actual results your website is getting. That is the gold. That is what we're looking for. If you go back to episode 520, I spoke about a website that we had launched, or I helped get ready to launch. They'd come to me, it wasn't quite ready. I worked with them. And at one point, we got one of their target audience to actually go through the website with us, and that they walked through the site and they said, I watched where they were clicking. I watched what they were doing. Now, that feedback is worth so much more than me sitting there going, well, I think they're going to do this and I think they're going to do that. I can see what real people are doing. So the idea here is to launch at a starting line, not the finish line. Your finish line, I guarantee you, your finish line will move. Once you've launched, your finish line will move, because you will see what your clients are doing. You will see what your visitors are doing. That's actually going to give you some inspiration as well as to what you might do to improve their experiences, to improve what you are delivering to them. Look, I'm going to give you permission right here to launch a little bit messy. Not broken, but a little bit messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be functional. You have to be able to develop that trust and develop the reputation with your clients that you are a real business, you are a real person, that you are trustworthy, but you don't have to be perfect to do that. Alrighty, guys, look. This is a shortest message. It is Mindset Monday. I really want to try and get people to reset how they think about their products and their services online, their websites, whether you're doing an email campaign, something like that. So what do you think? Have I raised more questions here than I've answered? I hope so, because that's how we learn and grow. That's going to be that's part of my catchphrases now, isn't it? I hope so. It's how we learn and grow. Have you launched something before you felt ready, and have you kind of had your heart in your mouth going, I hope this works? How did it go? I'd love to hear what your experiences are. Did it crash and burn, or did it actually go a little bit better than you thought it would? What worked for you? What didn't? I'd love to know all of these things. I'd love to know what you're thinking. Leave comments wherever you're watching or listening to this video. Now, if this video was useful, I would love a like. It certainly helps the algorithm get things out there. And maybe you could share this with a friend. Maybe you've got a friend who you know has been sitting there saying, I'll launch my website soon. I've just got to do this one little thing. Maybe share that with your friend. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. Finally, if you'd like some help with any of this, I am here to help. It's what I do. If you haven't already booked and taken advantage of your free 30-minute breakthrough session, you are more than welcome to do so. Visit my website, askcharlyleetham.com, and click the little magenta button. Well, it's a big-ish magenta button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Or you can reach out and book more time with me as well if you've already booked your free session. I would love to help you. That's it, guys. I will see you on Wednesday, where we're going to be looking at another walkthrough Wednesday, it's called. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.